are you allowed to be king and defend the killer? Seems janky.
Janky, that's a word now?
Are you ruling over that too?
Okay. This is not part of the royal court. This is a separate court, a legal court, where there is no king.
So, who's in charge?
Well, we don't really... Okay, who's the oldest person in the city?
What? I don't want to be involved in this hipster...
The court experiment begins chaotically. The young ruler insists this new gathering is not the royal court but a separate, impartial legal court with no king presiding. But the people immediately ask, then who's in charge? No one has an answer. To break the stalemate, someone suggests appointing the oldest person in the city. A 40-year-old citizen balks, protesting that he's no elder, just middle-aged and pressed for time. Reluctantly, he agrees to preside, grumbling about the burden of being considered ancient. The makeshift judge finds a carpenter's hammer nearby and, after joking protests that it clearly has nothing to do with court, begins banging it ceremonially. He grows fond of this role quickly, declaring he likes the job, even if he doesn't like the younger generation's music. A quarrel erupts between him and the younger citizens over taste, generations, and numbers, but soon dissolves into playful banter. Into this fragile courtroom atmosphere sweeps a messenger, a gossipy figure, half comic relief, half truth-teller. They casually drop shocking news. The Colossians, a people long devoted to the goddess Deliria, have started worshipping a new god. The goddess herself, Deliria, is furious, storming in to demand her followers back. She mocks the mortals, ridicules their hipster court, and insists that their loyalty belongs to her. But the Colossians defy her, shouting, "Hail science!" They explain that true power doesn't come only from gods but from creation itself. By inventing science as an idea, they've birthed a force as worthy of worship as any deity. Enraged yet unable to stop this new devotion, Deliria retreats behind excuses, claiming she must make love to the moon, bathe in ritual waters, anything to disguise her loss of authority. Her departure leaves the courtroom buzzing. Power is shifting from gods to ideas, from divine decree to mortal invention. Meanwhile, the accused father sits in chains, growing restless. He blurts out an unhelpful alibi, that he may have been at home pleasuring himself when the goats were killed. His son groans, warning that in the new justice system, silence is safer than speaking. He reminds his father that he's being judged not because of evidence but because he's a monster, and their task is to fight prejudice itself. The proceedings take a turn when a new voice rises. Brenda the Sphinx, once feared for riddles, now weary and practical. She appears to represent the goat farmers, testifying against the father. The son pleads with her, reminding her of her love for riddles, but she insists those days are gone. Riddles don't put food on the table. Monsters, too, must eat, and they can't live on myth alone. Her testimony makes it harder to frame this as mere discrimination. Desperate, the defense shifts tactics. They call a potter to the stand, a man who has spent his life painting and studying stories on vases. He admits that pottery has long depicted monsters as villains, never as helpers or innocents. To imagine such a vase would be laughable, he says, because nobody would want it. Yet he also confesses he has kept an archive of ancient pieces, stories that seemed important, even if unfashionable. At last, he produces a centuries-old bowl, mysterious in origin, hinting that perhaps not all stories about monsters were tales of evil. The courtroom leans in, curious. The fragile justice system teeters on the edge between old prejudices, divine rivalries, and the possibility of a new order built on evidence and reason, where even monsters might hope for fairness.